Whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place, listen to us as we give no fuck on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yucks, trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are two of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers he plucks. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.
Hi, I'm Adam Heath Avitable.
And I'm Sarah.
This is Dating Kinda Sucks, a podcast about dating, sex, and relationships. This week, we'll be examining whether the girl code
or the guy code
is a real thing. Enjoy the show.
Guess who didn't die on her trip? And
I know.
I'm back.
I know.
You thought I was gonna die. Too bad. I'm
2 weeks
here.
ago, I was like, if we ever see you again,
And she returns.
and you were all set up, you're like, don't stop being so negative.
That's kind of how we left it. Was, well, I guess you need to find a new co-host. I don't know.
Exactly. I'm glad that you made it back. How was your trip?
It was great. Highly recommend going on a solo trip because that's just how this one worked out for me. It gave me a lot of time to just enjoy life, I guess. I think for a lot of us this year, no one's really taken a vacation. Everyone's just kind of been stuck at home and hoping this shit changes, which it doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. So I think this was the first time in a while last week that I just felt normal, even though, everyone was wearing a mask and obviously things weren't 100% normal. I just felt better about my life in general, just taking a week off. So it was much needed.
It's good for the mental health to get out sometimes. And South Dakota's kind of anti-mask though, aren't they?
They are, but a lot of places were encouraging it, and a lot of people were tourists too, who probably came from states who required you wear a mask somewhere.
Right.
So it really wasn't that bad. And a lot of the times I was outside anyway, so it was at trails and whatnot. But yeah, overall great. It kind of also, because this was the first time Master of None and I spent a long time apart. This is the longest that we've spent apart. So I was interested to see what our communication would look like. And I'm pretty sure we talked almost every night. And I kind of did a recap on my trip and everything. And it was really nice to just, because I kind of talked to you and then him, and that was it. And then I would just post to Instagram and just do my own thing. So he was giving me ideas for things to do. And I actually think that the distance made us grow stronger while I was gone. And it was actually really great. And now, well, then I came back to a shit show, which I'll get into in a minute. But when I was gone, I was really anticipating seeing him because I knew, not that I'm not excited to see him now, but I was really anticipating seeing him because I thought our communication got so much better when I was gone. And yeah.
That's good though. That's good that you guys were more communicative. Not that you guys were more communicative, that he was more communicative, because I know that you have no problem communicating.
I think I don't shut up. That's
one thing. You have no problem talking. There's never gonna be a problem.
That's all I do.
Sarah doesn't talk.
That's the good problem. If I'm not talking, then there's an issue.
I was disappointed, I'd say, on your trip that I really wanted to be a terrible influence on you and have you post a photo of you topless, like in some nature area, like with just
I tried.
mountains or ravines in front of you or whatever, and that would have been amazing, but you just couldn't do it. Didn't happen.
The trails were not that. Yeah, there were too many people on the trails for me to be able to do that. So. and everywhere I kind of snuck around, I would sneak around a corner and go, will this work? And then 3 people would randomly be there. And I'm like, I thought this was secluded. What the fuck? So yeah, it just didn't work out. Sorry. Maybe next trip. Next
trip. Yeah. Where is the next trip? What's going to be?
So Master of None and I are planning a trip for next month for his birthday to go to the Smoky Mountains. So that will be the next one. Okay. And I'll definitely be topless somewhere. So.
Oh, I'm sure. You probably not have clothes on for a lot of that, I'm gonna guess.
90% of the trip, I'll probably be naked. Let's be real.
So anyway. you came back to a shit show. You said your own words.
Yeah, I guess those are my own words. Yes, to put it lightly, I came back to an apartment infested with roaches. I was gonna get a COVID test when I got home, but then I didn't even stay at my own place because I was killing 20 roaches. I think I killed around 20 to 40 roaches. I don't know. There were so many fucking roaches that I killed when I got home. And after they started crawling under my bed, I said, you know what? Fuck it, I'm not staying. So then I did not get a COVID test the next day, stayed at my friend's house, got the roach situation taken care of. Not really though, because there's still, I see one or two a day now. But they're, I'm a roach queen, so I can fucking kill them all. And then, so that
And
was
for people who live in Florida, by the way, let's differentiate between Florida roaches, which are like the things that are like,
that
you know,
fly.
7 inches long and fly, like yeah, and like you know,
These weren't flying.
these are like
Thank
the
God.
I think they're called German roaches, the ones you had,
Yes,
or like the
these are the
small ones,
German ones.
which are a bad infestation, but they're a little smaller, so they're a little more manageable than
Yeah.
giant roaches. But still, that sucks. So that's frustrating. But yeah, so because when you got back, the goal was to make sure you had a COVID test, and then Master None was going to be able to stay the night, right?
That was the original plan. I know everyone's what's the saga on has he spent the night? So no, he has not spent the night. That'll actually be this upcoming week when this episode comes out that he will have stayed the night or will stay the night in the next couple days. So the roach thing happened and him and I were talking a lot and he talked to his parents, but I think I got a little frustrated because he did not talk to his parents while I was gone. He waited until I got home. So I was expecting, to come home with I have all the answers and we're good
Right.
and whatever, and he still hadn't talked to them, and I don't know what the delay was on his end. Because that really wasn't the main issue. The issue became after he talked to us. It's like last week just kept getting worse and worse and worse. So the roach thing was happening, staying at my friend's house. He talked to his parents, and obviously his parents had restrictions on him, Master of None, being able to see me. And the restriction was that I have to wait 10 days before I see him. So anytime I see anyone, I then have to wait 10 days before I can see him. And I'm like, wait, hold up. So currently I'm going into the office once or twice a week. I am working my side job on the weekends. I'm going to the gym. I am, and safely too. Like I'm going places. I'm just not staying home. I'm seeing the same 2 friends I've been seeing since May, and then I'm seeing him. And then grocery store, random trips to the store for stuff. Pretty average things, honestly. I'm really not going to restaurants except for, obviously getting back from the trip. So I thought the 10 days were just going to be since I got back, and then obviously, like I said, I didn't get the COVID test. But this was because, and I'm wanting to see, at this point when he was telling me this news, I wanted to see him the next day,
Of course,
it had been, I get it. It hadn't been 14 days since I got back from South Dakota, but it had been 4 or 5 days at that point, but I was staying at my friend's house. So he said from the day that I left my friend's house, I have to wait 10 days. And I just fucking lost it. Like I was already having a bad week with the roaches, and now I can't see my boyfriend because people that I don't know are telling me how to live my life, basically. And I just got really fucking angry. And I've lived alone for almost 3 years now. I'm pretty fucking independent, and I don't like being told what to do. And that just to me, it just felt like that's not going to happen. It's just not. I'm not going to wait 10 days. So then I started getting, I went like full, and I was being very nice to him on the phone because I felt like the full story wasn't being told, and I'll get to it in a minute. But that ended up, like, my gut was just like, there's probably something more to this that I don't know. So I kept calling him and us having a conversation about it and me getting upset and crying. I'm just so sick of crying about this. I just want to see him. I miss him. I thought our relationship was getting better when I was gone, and now I'm dealing with this problem, and all I want to do is see him. And so I lost my train of thought because that was just so emotional. So then I called him yesterday, and I was super mad because in my mind I was like, oh well,
you got pissed, like, because you and I were talking, and
I was
even
like,
though I don't think you let him see the angry you, those of us who talked to you otherwise did see the angry you, because you were you're very upset, and I think understandably so, that it was just this. The whole basis of everything is, in my opinion, is based around a lie, anyways. Like that's and that's
I know you think that, and that's what I said. I said why, and I told him, I was like, why tell the truth now? Let's just keep lying. At this point,
right.
telling the truth makes my life fucking worse now. I don't know if it makes yours any better, but let's just keep lying. And he was like, that's not really an option. And I was like, okay, so that kind of facilitates, like, this is when I was mad at him on the phone. I was like, well, it kind of facilitates me wanting to then lie to you, which I don't want to fucking do.
Right.
So I'll just not tell you when I go out to see my friends, and I'll just do stuff and just not tell you, and then you'll just never know. And I was like, but that's shitty, and I don't want to do that either. But like when I
Sure.
was really mad, like really fucking mad about it, I was like, I'm just gonna go out to brunch and I'm gonna see my friends, and I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want, and I'm not gonna fucking tell them. Like I was so mad. And it's funny because when I was on the phone with him, I was like, I don't want to get in a fight. He's like, are we fighting? And I kind of hesitated. I was like, no, we're not fighting. But because it wasn't really an argument between the two of us, I would just get off the phone and just be
And you would vent to the rest of us.
angry.
And
by the rest of us, I mean you and my
me.
one other friend.
Yeah, okay, yeah, vent to
the
vent to
rest
me.
of us.
And then, but then you wouldn't like share that anger with him. Not that like anger is always a good thing, but sometimes it's actually okay. Sometimes it's a righteous thing.
Because I think a lot of the times I get so angry, and it's so immature for me to get as angry as I am. So then
Sometimes, but not always.
I don't know. I was venting in all this anger, not really just letting everything out. And I think some of it was really mean, that like the stuff that I was like venting out, that I ended up telling him, how I felt, just not in that way when I was like spitting mad.
One of these days, you're going to get that angry at him, and he's gonna be like, "Where did this come from?" And you're like, "This is what's always been inside. I've just been hiding it from you."
I'm not always this angry, okay? It just
but not always. But I mean, but when you get that way, you know, like you've been very censoring when it comes to that.
Well, the problem is, I don't know how to navigate this relationship with talking about it on the podcast, because in the back of my head, every time I talk about it, I think, oh my God, he's going to be so pissed that I said that on air, and now we're going to get in a fight about it, which hasn't happened yet, but it could be wrong. And then two, I just don't know how to, I just don't want to be angry and blow up on him. So
sure.
I don't know. So I got off the phone with you yesterday, and then I was gonna go eat. I was also hangry as fuck too, and I was gonna go inside, and I decided to call him before I got into my apartment. And I call him, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" You know, so happy to talk to me. I'm like, "Hey, I'm actually really fucking angry." He's like, "How is everything?" "Not good. I'm actually angry." And I think at that point he knew that I had probably been venting, and I like yesterday really escalated it because I went stress shopping, and I was like, I'm just in my feelings, and when I go shopping, I'm either fucking depressed or I'm fucking pissed off. Like I just don't randomly say, "Oh, I'm just gonna go to the mall," whatever. Right. So, and I think he knew. So anyway, so he actually came over, and we took a walk, and we talked face to face, because I don't think the phone calls were helping it, because he would not say anything. And it was, we just didn't have the face to face. He would get quiet, and then I would wait for him to say something. And then I would just keep talking and keep getting emotional. So I agreed. Plus I hadn't seen him since I left for my trip. So it had been like 2 weeks at that point. Yeah. So he came over, we walked around. He didn't come in my apartment. He came over, and we talked for a good, I want to say like hour and a half. And I actually thought my gut was right. My gut was right about me not having enough information. I felt that there was something else to the story that I probably didn't know, because I kept questioning, well, why is it a big deal now? Is this a you thing? Is this your parents thing? Have you always been this uncomfortable? And it just kept, before we had our conversation in person, it just kept resulting to, oh, well, that's just kind of the new rule. That wasn't good. That wasn't a good enough answer for me. So then he finally told me that, he's been uncomfortable a handful of times before when we've hung out. He just never really vocalized it. And, my response was, well, you need to tell me, I want you to trust me, and I need you to tell me these things so we can build a solid foundation on where you're at and how you're comfortable, because I don't I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. And I think in one situation I did put him in an uncomfortable spot and he told me about it, but some of the other times that he had mentioned, he never told me. So I had no idea. And then with his parents' health, I think he's just always said, well, they're older and that's just kind of been it. But he went into more detail about his family's health history that I didn't know. And I think he thought he told me it, but he never did. And that obviously was really important, where I was like, I wish you would have told me that sooner too. Not that I don't think I would have been, because I don't think I've been reckless by any means, but
no, you have not.
I think it would have made more sense to me as to why. So after that conversation, we're definitely in a better spot, and I think just me getting emotional, getting frustrated with him, not challenging him, but like kind of pushing back and us having hard conversations. We have really never had that before. So we hung out all day. Well, not all day today, but we hung out for a few hours today, and no conflicts, and everything was good. And I feel just the same pace we were at before I left. So that's good. But we just had a little snag.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I have two.
I know you're gonna have some statements.
Statements about this.
Not questions. Let's just say statements.
No. One's a question, one's a statement. The statement, and that is like with the health of his parents. I understand that, and that is, I mean, legitimate. It's very legitimate to be concerned about that. But it boils down to the fact that he was seeing you anyways without them knowing.
I know.
So,
and that was where I was getting angry.
Right, but I mean, so like that's also the better solution, in my opinion, would have been for him to say to his parents, "Hey, I've been seeing her already, so she's already part of our bubble. End of story. Like it's been done. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that happened and then I didn't tell you about it, but it's been going on for months."
Yeah, that was not gonna be part of this
And I
conversation.
apologize. I know, but like that, because that would have resolved everything immediately. Because they would have been mad, and if you had done it before you went on your trip, they could have been over their anger by the time you got back, anyways. But like then they would have like, and they're, instead of being worried about you being some risk, they could have been angry at him for obviously hiding and lying.
Obviously, he didn't want them angry at him because he currently
No,
lives
but instead
there.
he got you angry at him. So that's the issue, isn't it? He was just like, I'd rather upset, Sarah than my parents. Like he had a bad choice because it started off as lies.
Yeah.
That's why it's always better to be honest. It's because like that lying put him in a position of having to choose, who am I going to hurt, my parents or Sarah? And
he doesn't live with me.
That's not a good thing, right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna lose, and I was always gonna be the loser.
No, you shouldn't, and that's
right.
In most relationships, that's not normally how you want it to be. So there's my statement. I just wanted to like say that. But then here's my question. When you guys go walking and talking, is it like the West Wing where you guys are just like strutting along like at your top speed? Because I know how fast you fucking walk, and you guys are just
actually he walks faster than me, surprisingly.
So what are you thinking? Yeah, how's your day going? And you just like walk. Like I don't understand that. I don't want to walk and talk with people. Like I want to like come sit down, have a seat, have it, like and chat.
He did sit down after a little bit. Jeez.
But like you're like he came over to talk, but instead of coming inside and sitting down and talking, you guys like went for a walk. It's like I don't know. It's like it's so weird to me. The whole concept. I don't understand what the whole walk and talk thing is.
Well, we went on a walk and then we sat down outside. I think that's because we've been doing things outside since I got back home. So he hasn't been in my apartment since I got back. So
right.
he's kind of waiting or quarantining. I guess just not going into my space until Wednesday. So that's the date that we decided on. But earlier in the week it was Friday, and I was not cool with that because we were trying to wait how many days between when I last saw my friends, and we kind of worked it out. But yeah.
Okay. It's just in my head. I always think of every like drama and sitcoms that make fun of it, of like, and I'm always like, no, like I watch that when people like come walk with like Scrubs, they're like walking down the hallway talking to each other,
like that.
and I'm always like, nobody does it. Nobody walks and talks. Like I don't get that. Like you can't have an actual. I feel like there's no way to really have a conversation with each other when you're both walking.
Yeah, but you can't. Oh my God, can you not
really
chew gum and walk at the same time?
Chew gum and walk, but like trying to like have an actual conversation, requires like looking at someone in the eyes and body language, and I don't know. It's like people who sit on the same side of the booth at restaurants. It's like that affects conversations too. So That was just my question because I'm just picturing it. It's just weird to me. I just keep thinking of the West Wing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, glad you got that question off of your mind.
Very important. All right. It was a very important question.
Yes. But moral of the story is open and honest communication,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that was like where I was getting so frustrated of, let's just tell the truth, and let's just, if we, like you said, if we wouldn't have lied or if he wouldn't have lied in the beginning, because I keep saying we as a collective, the two of us,
You
but
didn't lie.
if it wasn't a lie from the beginning, it wouldn't have been as big of a deal now. But everything's out now, so that's good. And we've
No, it's
had hard.
not.
Yeah, it is.
They don't know that he's been seeing you.
They do, just not from here on out. It's true.
Okay. I was
From
gonna say,
here
like,
on
they
out.
still don't know how frequently he's been seeing you over the last 4 months.
It starts from now. It starts from
Okay.
well, it starts from last week. So here on out.
Okay. Until you guys are
Because
finally,
I
until you
can't
finally
change
meet
the
his parents
past.
and you're talking about something, you're like, oh yeah, like when we did that, they're like, what? We did that,
Oh
and they're
my
like,
gosh. You cannot say his name.
I know. You can bleep that out. And you're like, oh, when did you do that? I thought you were going for a walk that day by yourself, or whatever. Whatever he would do.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I can't change the past,
No.
and lesson learned. And I I mean, yeah, it's hard for me, it's challenge I wouldn't say hard. It's challenging for me to be in a relationship just based off of trying not to blow up, because in past relationships, and I think that's why I'm calling on you and my friends when I'm so mad, because I used to use my ex-boyfriends as a fucking batting cage, and
Right.
I would just fucking go at them when I was mad, and that wasn't healthy. So I'm trying to figure out the healthiest way to resolve conflict without me being 1,000% bitch mode, because I go from literally 0 to 1,000. So how do I get it to 10% bitch mode?
Well, I think
Ease
you're getting
in the bitch
better.
mode.
I think you're getting better about knowing when it's more reasonable to be angry. Like you're not getting angry
I'm
about
growing up.
little things. Well, I mean, you're realizing sometimes it's just not worth being angry over because it's out of everyone's control, etc. But there are times that you have the legitimate right to be angry, and you should be okay with being angry.
Yeah. And my other struggle is when I think that I'm 100% right, I'm not going to fucking back down. I'm
Right.
not going to stop being angry. And this is one of the things where I thought everything I was asking for, I was in the right. I don't think I fucked anything up. I don't think I was being
No,
unreasonable.
no,
And
no.
that's we, not that we disagreed, but we looked at how we were evaluating, shall I say, safeness or risk. We were assessing risk in a different way. So he thought, places I went were more risky, where I thought those were fine, and he thought other things were riskier. So we had that talk too, but our definitions for things were different. And we just never
Okay.
talked about
Okay.
it until we
Yeah.
finally sat down and had that conversation. So
Sure.
resolved, good, moving forward. Haven't had
For
sex
now.
since I left, so I'm also, well, yes, for now. But I don't. I think this is moving forward. I mean, he's gonna stay at my place next weekend, and we're finally gonna have a sleepover because we're 5, and we're gonna
Oh
have
wow! How exciting! We can make a pillow for it.
all the basically my recording studio right now.
It's true. It really is.
But anyways, are we done talking about my relationship? Because we could
Well,
we could
sure.
go on. I don't know if we could go on and on,
I
but
don't
yeah.
know. I mean, yeah, I think we've talked about it. Everybody's caught up, all the
Everyone
listeners
knows what's going
who
on.
care.
Great.
Yeah, yep.
Thanks for joining. Cool. Adam, what about your relationships and naked photos and I don't know,
Naked
anything?
photos. I haven't done any. Although I did get I got a bathtub for the backyard, so I'm gonna be doing some cool outdoor bathtub photography that I'm looking forward to, including one probably with me nude in the tub covered in bacon. So we'll be working on that. So
Covered cooked
yeah,
bacon or
yeah,
just
yeah. Well, but not raw. Raw would be really nasty. Like that'd be
would it
so.
really?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
eat
so.
bacon, so I wouldn't know.
You've never made like I mean, it's just slimy, it's uncooked meat. I mean, it's it's not like
Then
a pleasant.
instead of a milk bath, you're gonna do a bacon
I
bath.
think so. I think so. We'll see how that turns out. We'll see.
You're gonna have to cook a fuck ton of
I
bacon.
I know. I
That
know.
would be super unreasonable.
You can buy. I'm gonna buy this restaurant type of bacon that's comes in these sheets, and it's really thin bacon, and you can cook a whole bunch of it really quickly. Microwave for like a minute. It's really
Just
easy.
put the bacon over your dick and call it a day. Like you're not gonna fill the tub.
We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna have to see. But other than that, last week, what is today? Is what I don't even fucking know.
Sunday the
Sunday,
20th.
the 20th of September. Yeah, we both dragging a little bit today. Me because I went out last night, and you just because you were emotionally drained,
Yes.
and yeah, I've been a little hungover. I went out last week. Wednesday. Wednesday, we recorded because my other podcast, The Angel at the Starlight Motel, just a little plug there if you haven't listened to it,
Shameless
true
plug.
crime
Yep.
podcast. We launched season 2, and so Lisa was over to record for that, and then we went downtown to just to get out for the night. Here in Orlando, there's a bar called iBar, independent bar that has a night called Mac and Cheese Night, and bars are now allowed to open at a certain capacity, 50% or something like that. And Mac and Cheese Night is always a fun 80s and 90s music night. It's kind of it was always fun to hear what the DJ would play on and see everybody dancing. So we decided to go there and went downtown. They have temperature checks at the bar. You wear your mask until you sit down at the bar. Is the only place you can take your mask off is if you have a bar seat. And because we know everybody, we had a section of the bar set off for us to go sit down. So that was nice. But we ended up wandering around downtown as well. And I ran into somebody who I have known for about 10 years, and she's a local musician, and I've always had like a bit of a crush on her, but I've just always enjoyed just her posts, and I've never actually seen her play music or anything because I was either on stage at the same nights that she was performing, but just always kind of appreciated her social media presence, and ran into her and her bandmate, and she was like very I don't know the way to describe it. Very, very like very happy to like very touchy,
Was she
huggy.
flirty? Very flirty?
I would say it felt flirty, but I wasn't 100% sure. It was very much, like a hug with the hand on the spine type thing after the hug, and just all this. And we should talk. We should, I'd love to meet up sometime. We should do something. Here's my phone number. So like I don't like checking Messenger, so here, text me instead. And then that was Wednesday night, and so then we texted for the last couple days, and then she was playing. In Lake Mary last night. So I went to see her and her bandmate play for the first time and enjoyed sat with them when they were on break and just talked, and it was nice. And then after they got done at like 10, it was still early because it was only 10. So
I mean, that's early for you.
that's early for most people on a Saturday night. And so she wanted to go downtown. So I was like, all right, let's go downtown. So hopped into her truck and went downtown, and then was downtown hanging out with her and her bandmate and random other people we all ran into that we all, each of us knew so different people until probably 2 in the morning. And we really got along well. And we were
So
like,
not a date, but
not a date.
flirt.
No. Yeah. Flirty.
So
And
did you schedule a date or
not
do
yet.
you?
No, no. She and I texted a little bit today, but she's I think been a little hungover too. So we're just basically I've been kind of quiet. But we chatted a little bit, and I'm gonna try to plan something. She has kids, and I think she has custody a lot. So I don't think
How old is she?
that's a good question. I have no idea.
Closer to your age or no?
Yeah. She's in her mid-30s.
Okay.
So like 36, 37 maybe, I think she might be. Yeah. And she has 3 kids. The oldest is like 12. So she doesn't have, she has custody a lot, and I don't know if how frequently, but it seems like her time without kids is rare. But I'm gonna just legitimately just explicitly ask her, hey, I'd like to take you out on an actual date. Can we go out? Because that'll clear it up. If it's
Well,
if it's
yeah,
not,
and
yeah,
you should.
and that way we can know, if it's worthwhile. But like we really get along really well, and there's some really good chemistry between us, and that was nice. And I think she felt it too. It's always hard to tell, especially when there's alcohol involved. But it
Yeah, that's fair.
it did feel like it, and she's someone that I've always like been like I like something I was always appealed to me about her. So who knows? We shall see. But like she pays attention, which is funny because I was talking about she was working on her Marie Kondo. She was Marie Kondoing her house this weekend. And I was like, oh yeah, this is my living room, and I showed her a picture, and I have that giant 8-foot teddy bear in the corner. And she's
Because
like,
you're an adult,
because I'm an
obviously.
adult. Yeah. And she goes, oh, that bear. She goes, God, I remember when you posted all the photos of that in the back of your convertible driving when you like moved it into your house.
Oh
And I was
my
like,
God, that
and I
was
was like,
forever
that
ago.
was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And I was like, you remember that? Like, and she goes, yeah, I pay attention. So like little things like that I'm like, oh, well, maybe it is something that there is, people don't always pay that close attention to somebody that they have no interest in. So I don't know. We shall see. But
Well, yeah, you have to ask explicitly.
I will. I will.
Yeah.
Well, I do it this week. I'll ask her. We've been texting back and forth pretty much, not nonstop, but like with our just pretty frequently throughout the since Wednesday. So that was nice.
What about
And
any ghosts from Christmas past? Any past
uh,
lovers or anybody come back or
no,
no?
nothing like that. Nothing's been other than since the eccentric came and then
Right.
went back to Portland. No, nobody like that. I've been on the apps a little bit. I've been chatting with a couple people that seem interesting and fun. And I have, I also have my friend over on the East Coast here that I want to see, that is that I've always, I've always enjoyed talking to, that we just trying to make plans has been difficult. So we'll see what happens.
Hmm.
Whatever. How I am though. I let these things just
You're
go
just
with the
yeah.
flow.
You're
I mean,
even
like,
more flow now that this whole COVID thing started. You're like, well,
yeah,
whatever.
I can't control anything. All I can do is just, put my best foot forward and be honest, and whatever happens, happens. And I'm not.
Wait, so the have you not had sex since the lockdown, I'm guessing?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Sorry. I feel like I ask every episode.
I
So
know you're like,
Nick.
you gotten laid yet? Yeah,
You ask me my relationship update. I ask you your sex update. So
yeah.
there you go.
It's just been masturbating, and then with you calling me constantly angry or crying, you just ruin those sessions half the time. You always invariably call me when I'm like, ah, shit, now I can't do this at the same time. Like I can't do both those things.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'll just stop calling you. It's fine.
it's always FaceTime too. So I'm always like, God damn it. But yeah, so just what happens. So yeah, no sex, and I would like to. It's literally gonna take me 30 seconds the next time I have sex,
It's
probably.
gonna be a lot of cum and it's gonna be really fast.
Yes, exactly. Just what every person wants to have when they have sex.
Cannot wait.
Well, with that, why don't we go ahead and take a break, and then we'll be right back with the rest of the episode.
Welcome back. So this episode kind of started because we got an email from a listener named Lisa, and Lisa emailed us, saying obviously that she likes the podcast, but saying,
Obviously.
I mean, I just want to throw
Of
that out there.
course, she loves it.
Of course, hair flip. Why would she not? I mean, we don't get a lot of hate mail, so I mean, if you want to throw that our way too, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I don't think it does. Let's send your hate mail to datingkindofsucks.com.
Please do.
Yes.
But so Lisa sent us an email talking a little bit about her, I wouldn't even say it was a relationship situation, more as a friendship situation with kind of like a relationship thing thrown in. I think she said
Sure.
it was some kind of relationship triangle. So Lisa has a friend, and her friend, according to this email, who she's been in a relationship for about 2 years, and Lisa's friend had a crush on a coworker who was named Kevin. But Lisa's friend, again, is in a relationship. So, her friend kind of put dibs, even though she's in a relationship, saying, oh, well, I really like him and he's so cute and da 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 da. But, realistically, girl, you can't date him because you're in a relationship. So Lisa starts talking to Kevin. They hit it off. They have good chemistry and they start dating. And Lisa and her friends start having issues because, Lisa's friend was like, oh, well, I told you I liked him and all of these things, which caused an issue. So unfortunately, Lisa and Kevin broke up, and her and her friend have still had issues and they don't really discuss it. And she feels kind of guilty for everything that happened. And so she kind of asked us, was I in the wrong? Should it have been a chicks before dicks kind of situation? Is this worth losing a friendship over? Um, and and she kind of considered herself as the hot friend between the two. I don't know who decided those terms or whatever, but she's like, should I feel guilty for being the hot friend? Should I feel guilty that he liked me instead of her? What do you think? So, and that was kind of the whole term of girl code. Did she break girl code? Which, Adam, what do you think? Did she break girl code? Is there anything I missed?
Nothing you really missed. I don't think she considered herself the hot friend because in the
Her
email
friend thought she was the hot
like
friend.
accused her of always being the hot friend. So I think Lisa's best friend here must feel like a little insecure about Lisa is what it seems like to me.
Mhm.
But her
Which is
best
why
friend's
the dibs happened, because
right.
you can't touch him, dibs, but also I can't touch him either because relationship.
Right. She's been in a relationship for 2 years with somebody who she apparently they get along really well and they're really good with each other and everything. But she's had this like crush on Kevin, and then to get mad at Lisa for like hitting it off with Kevin. They're both single, and the friend's not, and it's really weird to me. And the fact that she said a huge fight where she told me that Kevin was girl coded, and I'm like that's such a weird phrase. Yeah, I'm sorry, like so, like you're just gonna have a crush on him and just sit there and hold on to him and because you can't
Put
do
him in a
anything.
box,
Yeah,
keep him stored away. That but and this is what, so I emailed Lisa back and basically said, you need to get new friends.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
As I need to get new friends, you need to get new friends. I think the way that Lisa's friend handled the situation was very poor. I think she's kind of jealous. I also said with some of the context she added in the email, it sounded a little bit like gaslighting and kind of, you're the hot friend and oh this and that, and kind of belittling her and making her feel small. But I think one of the points that her friend forgot to think about is Kevin has a say in his own life too. He's allowed to date who he wants and doesn't want and do whatever Kevin wants to do. Her friend can't put him in a box and say, well, if and when my relationship ends, Kevin will be here. No, because Kevin can literally do whatever the fuck he wants. And if he hits it off with Lisa, he hits it off with Lisa. And if she likes him, then she likes him. And as a friend, you should be happy for her because you're already in a relationship.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not going to be adult enough to say, well, this means I'm unhappy in my relationship and I should end my relationship and pursue Kevin, you can't just be like, well, if I can't have him, can't nobody have him. Like that's not okay. That's immature. I will say too, both Lisa and her best friend are 22,
So they're
and
young.
this sounds like it happened like a little while ago because like probably when they were a little bit younger because she said that Lisa said she and Kevin did date for a while and it was amazing, but then he moved to Hawaii after college and so they
Right,
broke it
right.
off. They broke it
So
off.
this is a
So
college thing.
yeah, this is probably, early 20s and then now she's 22, so it's like 6 months later or whatever, and she realizes that her friend is still resents her for dating Kevin.
Get rid
And
of the
that
friend.
yeah, I feel like she's just not a good friend maybe. Like maybe that's somebody who keeps you around because she likes to.
Make you
Is
feel
she,
small.
does she bully you? Like maybe she does. Maybe she's one of those friends who always puts you down and makes you feel like you're doing something wrong and you have to be the one there for her, but she's never there for you. Because it kind of sounds like that. It sounds like just a shitty friend.
Yeah, I agree. I I've had friends in the past who keep people around just to make themselves feel better, to be, you know, the pretty one in the photos, or to always have someone to talk to or whatever, to just basically use and then take all of their energy and just suck it out of them and then move on to another person. And that kind of sounds like a cycle that I've been in with old friends. And what did I do? I got rid of them. So that's my advice.
Well, and that's the thing too is when like they said they've been best friends for over 10 years, which means that they were like they were adolescent. They were 11, 12 when they became friends.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, as you grow into, as you become an adult, your friends grow different ways, and so you become different people. And you might those friend, not all those friendships last. Some do, but a lot of them don't. Let's talk about the fact that your boyfriend, who was amazing, was moving to Hawaii after college, and you didn't be like, "Fuck, let's go to Hawaii." Like, how do you decide? How do
Yeah.
you
Why
decide
didn't you
to
go to Hawaii?
not move to Hawaii? Like that's the biggest, that's a huge issue right there. What are you thinking, Lisa? I mean, you should have gone to Hawaii. Why wouldn't
Yeah.
you want to go to Hawaii after college? Like that would just that would be. I feel like that would be
Yeah,
an incredible experience.
maybe same thing with why I didn't move where my boyfriend was after college. I just couldn't find a job there, and I wasn't going to
You had a
sacrifice
shitty
my life.
relationship, so
Also, yes, but I don't know. But moral of the story is, though, if you have a friend who's not happy that you're in a relationship and isn't supportive about your relationship, and then when you break up, isn't there for you and is still resentful, that's a problem.
yeah, Oh, it is. Yeah, and that's the problem with the friend. So, fuck her, Lisa. Get rid of her. She's not a good friend.
Yeah.
On a more general sense, so we I looked up two articles, and it was so funny that
About girl code?
about like girl code, the concept of dibs,
Ah, okay.
like if you can actually call dibs and everything. And so one was a Cosmo article.
You know how we love articles. Do
Oh
we
yes,
do
yes.
a whole episode on how shitty, stupid headlines are and whatever all
Well,
the dating
so
advice is terrible?
what I thought this was funny was that this one. So Cosmo has one that says, "No, you can't call dibs on a guy. He's a person, not a paint color." So I was like, "Oh, okay, I like this," and it just goes off like, you can't call dibs. It's not, this is, you're not children. This is not how this works. Living in a world where you and your friends call dibs is unappealing, and who knows, you could be missing out on someone who might be you're really cool. It might be your better. They actually say you'll probably end up meeting someone who's really cool and seems different than your usual fuck nugget rotation of fellas, which I like the fuck nugget.
Fuck
Yeah.
nugget. Okay.
So it's a quick article, but it basically says no, you cannot call dibs, and that's ridiculous. It's immature. It's childish. You cannot call dibs on a guy. Like I said, he's a person, not a paint color. So that was the Cosmo article, which, by the way, I'll link to the articles in the on our website when this episode goes live too. The other one was from Elite Daily, and
Our other favorite.
it's called the Bro Code of Dibs.
Oh God.
And this one, as you might imagine, goes into excruciating detail of the rules of how dibs are fine when guys are calling dibs on women,
Are we
and
in
how that
fucking
it's
first
okay.
grade?
I know, and it's just so funny the difference. Like I just like the contradictory. Nate, the Cosmos actually very much. No, we're human beings. You're looking for a connection, and Elite Daily's like, yeah, you could totally call dibs, bro. Like that's, it totally works. They have rules in here that say like you can override someone else's dibs.
By how? How?
Desperation. Hold on, wait. Desperation is a big factor. Um, if someone's a virgin or hasn't gotten laid in a while, they get special privileges.
Are you fucking
Um,
kidding me? Oh my God.
for revenge, they do expire. Dibs are like milk; they have an expiration date. You can't just call dibs on the pursuit of one girl and expect them to last forever. Hell to the no. From my experience, if you can't pull a date or a phone number within 2.5 weeks, it goes on to the next man.
Oh, this is.
And all of his references,
I literally, when you said it goes on to the next man, I thought this was written by a woman. So
Oh,
this makes a lot more sense now.
This is a dude writing this. Yeah.
So guys are thinking that dibs exist. Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, that's why it's called
Got
the
it, got
Bro
it.
Code of Dibs. Yeah, because it's all about, for men, are dibs okay? Well, here's the funny thing is everything this guy writes in this article talks about basically relates women to food. It's like, imagine it's like you have the best brownie that's only left. If one of your boys calls dibs on it and your other homie hasn't had a brownie in months, like do the right thing. And then he calls him.
I fucking want to punch this person in the face. Are you
Then he calls the
kidding
girl
me?
like the last cookie in the jar.
Oh no.
And so there's the big difference. If you're a douchebag, dibs exist. If you're an intelligent, mature person, then you realize it's a person, not a paint color, which I really like that. Like that's a that's a which I don't get the paint color, by the way, now that I'm thinking about that.
You would pick a paint color for
Can
a
you
room,
call
not
dibs on a
call
paint color?
dibs on
Can
a
you be like, I'm
on
gonna
a
paint
color.
my house this color, you can't paint your house that color?
Dibs, you can't paint. I mean, HOA
Nails? Can
maybe.
you be like, I'm gonna do my nails? Like with your girlfriends? Like, can you be like,
Dibs, pink. Oh my God, no, no one does that.
okay, I didn't think so. I don't understand the paint color part. But anyways, I just thought it was really interesting, and I think it's a good way to approach it, is that there's dibs is not a thing. I'm sorry, like in any capacity. Anybody who thinks that dibs exists is a child.
Agreed. But I have been in a situation. I think this was not a dib situation. It was I think I was just led down the wrong path situation about a year or so ago with a friend. Who you might not know. Maybe you do know this. So out at a bar with my friend, we meet this group of guys, and she's talking with the guys, and she kind of whispers over to me, "I think this guy, you and him would really hit it off." And she kind of nudges us together. And so we start talking, we exchange numbers. I think he's cute. I think he's nice.
Yep.
But there wasn't really, I wasn't going to massively pursue him because he had just moved to Nashville and, she knew all of them personally. So I wasn't going to do anything. It's fine. Whatever. Got his number though. We'll hang out. I talked to her, I don't know, like 2 months later about him, and him and I, he was a musician. Him and I, we would go back and forth, texting, or we went to grab coffee once, but it was like on a very friend level of, you're new to town and you're cool and let's just hang out. It was never anything sexual or anything like that. But so I was talking to her about him and how, I had hung out with him a couple times, and she goes, "Oh, well, it's funny because I had sex with him last week," and da 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 da. And
Wow.
I just didn't know what to say, because she was the one who suggested we should date and start talking, and then I start hanging out with him, not in like it was a very slow, like, I want to build a friendship with him, because at the end of the day, he's a cool person.
Well, you're also not the type to just go fuck somebody too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, you're hot and cool, let's fuck in your apartment. No. And so even after I found out that this friend slept with him, it's funny because I had this information, and then I kept hanging out with him, and then he just kind of told me, like, yeah, I slept with her and da 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 da, and they don't talk anymore. But he still talks to me and whatever, and I just thought that was really shady of the friend, because not that it was a dib situation, but it was you kind of urged me to talk to him in the first place, and then you went behind my back and slept with him, and then you're going to tell me after I was already hanging out with him more. That kind of pissed, honestly, and I get there's no dibs, but that kind of pissed me off, because I felt
well,
like
I don't consider that dibs. That's not a dibs situation. The dibs thing is like someone walks up and you're both like, oh, I got dibs. So like somebody can't actually pursue that person. No, I think that's just a mutual respect of friends. Like if you're actively talking to somebody, like if you were in the process of talking to someone, and you have a good friend that knows that and goes behind your back to also try to talk to that person, they're just kind of being disrespectful of you, just because it's like it's like if you were applying for a job that you really meant a lot to you, that you were really like, if it's someone you actually really enjoy talking to and you're really excited about this, and then the other person goes, oh, I went and applied to that job since you applied too, like basically like they're it's this thing where it's not dibs, but it's a respect. If you actually have somebody in your life that you care about, and they're a friend and you want them to be happy, then you respectfully abstain from pursuing somebody that they're also talking to. That's reasonable. That's just a reasonable.
Also, if you, in my situation, if you urge the other person to start talking,
well, that's so
fucked.
yeah, but that's definitely a thing, but it is hard, because sometimes you click with somebody, and you might click with somebody who someone else is on a date with. I've had that happen, where I've been out and run into somebody who's on a date, and they're like, oh, join us, just for a drink or whatever, and then like the date wasn't going well, but like it wasn't going badly, but like the date and I got along a lot better, like, and really kind of clicked. But like I'm like, wow, in that case, you step away, you let it go through its course, and then maybe after that you're like, hey, do you mind if I ask her out? Do you mind if I do you like you kind of give the friend, even though people aren't property and they don't have the right to say yes or no, you still give them the respect of saying, hey, do you mind if I, like, would that hurt your feelings if I did that? Like if I asked her out. And I don't know.
Would you get mad if a friend dated your ex? A close friend of yours dated an ex that ended badly? I guess it ended on a good note versus ended on a bad note.
I don't think so. No, I mean,
either situation, it wouldn't matter.
No, but I know I'm not gonna be normal in that case. But I don't. I think once someone's single, they're single. What does it matter? Like they're a single adult. They can make their own choices. I do know, my friend. I have a comedian friend that he and I have very similar taste in women, and his girlfriend was like, they only dated for like 2 weeks. Like, it was a short relationship. Maybe it was a month, but it was not a long relationship. And she was totally my type too. Like, she and I always got along great. And after they broke up, I said something. It was like a month afterwards, and I was like, so would you ever be mad if I asked her out? And he got so mad. Like, he was just actually angry about it. He goes, yeah, you don't do that. That's not okay. And I was like, but you guys are done. You're not gonna date. It's not like I'm affecting the relationship. But he was very, very adamant that was not okay. And so I think some guys maybe have their egos tied into it. Maybe people in general. And I don't know. It's a tough situation, but I think generally speaking, there shouldn't be. You want to have a little bit of
I
time.
agree.
It's like making a joke after a tragedy. Yeah, you need a little bit of time with it sometimes before it's funny.
Tragedy plus time equals joke. Is that the saying?
Equals comedy, but yes, tragedy
Oh,
plus time equals joke.
I'm clearly not a fucking comedian here.
But it is
Whatever.
kind of like that. Like I feel like a relationship needs a little bit of time. Like it, if someone was really interested in my ex-wife right when we got divorced and was like, "Hey, do you mind if I date her?" I might be like, "It's a little soon," like I don't want to see her. Like, so I don't know why that I'd want to associate with you like dating her. Like I wouldn't want to see you because I wouldn't want to see her. Like, so like it might affect my friendship, but like if now someone was like, "Hey, I ran into your ex-wife. We really hit it off, and you and I have been friends for years. I just wanted to know if like you cared." I'd be like, "No, go for it." Like,
So
yeah.
should people ask for permission then? Or you think people are more inclined to just ask for permission in general because there's always this idea that there's going to be backlash if you don't, or
Well,
if you do
it's a
date someone's
weird
ex?
thing. Yeah, it's weird because it's problematic to say ask for permission because there's no such thing as like you don't have
Yeah,
the right
that's
to.
true.
It's not someone like I said, someone's not property, but maybe it's more of hey, out of respect to you as a friend, I'm going to do this, and I wanted to let you know first.
Mm. Just
Can our
informing,
friend
not
right?
asking.
Basically, can
Right.
our friendship survive this? Is this something that you can handle are you adult enough to handle this?
Mm.
And if they're like, it really bothers me that you're doing that, then you could decide if it's worth it to pursue the person or not. But I would say like informing the person is just maybe some respect for your friend. If it's someone that you care, if it's someone who's an actual friend, then you want to treat them like you'd want to be treated. Is really how it is. Would you want to know, or would you rather be
Yeah.
surprised? Surprised?
I think it's hard for me. Like I would love to say, yeah, sure, date my ex. But also, if it's the friends that I go to that know everything about my relationship with my exes already, then that just makes me feel uncomfortable because you already know how like what happened in my relationship, and now you have all that knowledge. I don't know
Well,
into
maybe
your.
that'll help them
I mean, yes, maybe it'll
navigate
help
better.
them, but it also feels like a stab in the back to a certain degree of you were on my side with this and I get like you have your. I'm just thinking one ex in particular. If one of my friends, not that they, not that they would, but if one of my friends just said, "Hey, could I date him?" I'd be like, "Are you fucking serious? You're the one who told me to stick it out with him and gave me all this advice with him, and you said you didn't. You
So
made
you
it
would
seem like
bother
you
you.
didn't." It would bother me. I
But
think
would
for
you rather they
specific.
told you, or then also you just found out that they're talking to each other?
Absolutely. I would much rather know that. I would much rather them tell me. I also think too the time thing is a factor.
Yeah.
Now, I don't give a fuck. But if it would have been the first month or two after we broke up, I would have had a serious issue with it because I was heartbroken. So
What
how
if your friend from work said to you, "Hey, I got something to tell you. I started talking to this guy. We matched on Tinder. We've been doing really like we're kind of clicking really well and everything and then like I just found out that he actually dated you and his but we're really getting along well. I just wanted to let you know. I didn't know and his name's Sergeant Slaughter."
a good fucking luck, go for it, girl.
I mean, but, like what would you say? Like how would you feel that way?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
Okay. Because that
Fine.
wasn't that long ago, so like the time isn't,
Right, yeah, that wasn't that long ago, but also like good. I think the mature approach is like my thought process when you asked that was, if it'll make you happy, sure,
yeah.
fine, because that did not make me happy. So if you think that's gonna make you happy, sure.
Right, right.
You have all. Yeah, I guess. Okay, I guess I'm gonna change my tune on this. Yeah, you have all the information. You already know how it went with me. So
So yeah, if
sure,
you want to do that, and if they
if
start
you want to do
complaining,
that, go right ahead.
if they want
Sure,
to bitch to you about the relationship, you can be like, that's on you. Sorry, like
you
you
already
knew what you're
know.
getting to. Yeah, did you think I was the crazy one there? No, sorry. Well, it's like when Tinkerbell started dating that guy that right after she said she didn't want to be in a relationship, and then ends up in a relationship like a few months later, and he came over and introduced himself, and I met him for the first time at an event that I was doing that he was there, and he, and I was like, oh, he seems like a nice guy. Like, and that's what mattered, And so like, I couldn't really be mad. I could still be petty and call him mini me, and and
Yeah, you
all
could
those
definitely be
things. And
petty.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have no problem having a little bit of it's okay to feel a little pettiness and okay to to look down a little bit and be like, oh yeah, no, I was the better choice, but that's okay. Like
No, I
that
feel
part,
that too. Yeah.
that's okay to have that little bit of pettiness as long as you genuinely don't want them to be, as long as you genuinely want them to be happy. That's what's important, I think. And you treat somebody like you would want to be treated. Be respectful, be honest. Maybe don't ask for permission, but maybe
Just say, hey, we're dating. Just
inform
want
them
to
out
let
of
you know.
respect. Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to let you know that this is going to happen. And I hope that you can see that I'm not doing this out of disrespect to you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think before I was just very against it, but I mean, especially, now that I've dating, I'm happier not being with those people. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it's harder when it's fresh. So if it was if you would have asked me Sergeant Slaughter a month after and my friends started dating, I think my tune would have been a lot different.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
You were still
I
fucked
think
up.
I would have fucking cried
Yeah.
over it and be like, you
Yeah.
can't date him. That's not fair.
Yeah.
I still like him. Oh my god. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that would have like been my answer.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So with
And
time,
yeah, with time, and that with time does make a difference. And I think that it's easy to get in our heads about it and be irrational when we think about these things and say, well, that doesn't make any sense, or well, how could you do that to me? Not realizing that they're not doing anything to you. That you, not you specifically, but like in a general
right.
sense, like your failure of a relation, like your failure in that relationship, whether it was them or you or both, doesn't mean that somehow someone else can't find happiness with that person.
Right.
And it also doesn't mean that if they don't find happiness with that person, you can't get some slight degree of satisfaction out of being like, haha, like I knew it wasn't going to work. That's okay too. Like it's okay to be human. It's okay to be a little bit flawed like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be some shit that I would be like, oh, I told you bitches, but you
Right.
don't
Yeah.
fucking listen.
Told you
All
so.
right.
All right.
I wouldn't say that to their faces, but I would probably well,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Anything else
So
to add?
I was gonna say, I mean, we went from girl code, guy code to dating someone's ex. So
Well, that's kind of that's
I
what I
mean,
see the girl code guy code is this concept of, do you owe somebody as the girl code or the guy code to put your friend before your desire for a relationship? And if you click with somebody and have the potential for chemistry, then then just be respectful about it. People aren't property, so like, and
yeah.
people are free to do whatever the fuck they want. If all you're trying to do is get laid, then in that case, actually, I would say that
I was
maybe
actually gonna ask. That was my next question of like, I don't even know if it
if
is
you're just
that
trying to,
even
yeah, I think if you're just trying to get your dick wet, like you could just move on to somebody else. Like if like don't try to fuck a friend's ex. Like that, like
yeah.
that's shitty. Like that's just shitty because that's just like, oh, I've always thought she was hot. I always wanted to fuck her. That's just you being a piece of shit. If it's like, oh, I like actually really connect with her and like
And I wouldn't be
we're
happy dating this
yeah, I
person.
would actually
They'll
have to
make me
date them.
happier. And yeah.
That's a very different situation than just being like, oh, I just want to bone her,
I
just
was
because like,
drunk one night and whatever, and I just
yeah,
wanted to fuck. So just so you know, we fucked.
yeah. So I
I
guess
think that would sting a lot more too, honestly.
well, it would just be shitty because it has nothing to do with you connecting with the person. It's basically you're only trying to fuck them because probably you heard that she was fun in bed and now your friend isn't dating her anymore. Like, and so that just has a shitty, like, would you want someone to do that to you? No.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Is if we're talking about relationships, and if in relationships you just be respectful and inform the person that hey, I met somebody, we're talking, they're an ex of yours, but don't try to pursue an ex just to fuck them. Like that's being petty. That's being something. That's just being immature, childish.
There's so many other people you could try to fuck if you're just looking for
Right.
a fuck.
That's
You know
that's
what
a
I
different.
mean? Just
That's
get
the
on
thing.
Tinder and find literally any fucking other person then.
Yeah. But if
But
you
if
have a
you
connection.
truly, yeah, if you truly have a connection, then that's different.
Yep. No, I agree. I agree. And so that is the big difference. And that is when there maybe is a girl code, guy code, the chicks before dicks or whatever. Um, like bros before hoes, which is both those are terrible phrases.
I know, I fucking
But
hate those too. Those
but
have
like
gone away since high school. Those are just yeah.
yeah. But in those situations, that does exist. Like there is a little bit of a code. It's not a girl code or guy code. It's just a code of respect for your friends. And just if you have respect for your friends, why would you do that? That's really the question to be asked.
And if you don't have respect for your friends, then you're just selfish, and you probably shouldn't. You don't really value that friendship.
Yep. So you're probably a shitty friend like Lisa's friend.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah,
literally what
yeah.
it is. Of, well, you really just don't fucking value them. You don't want them to be happy. You're not supportive. You're holding grudges. That sounds toxic as fuck. So you guys shouldn't be friends.
Yep. I
Full
agree.
circle with the story here today.
Full circle.
My favorite.
And what are your thoughts on girl code, guy code, dibs, etc.? You can email us and let us know what you think as well at datingkindofsuckspodcast@gmail.com. And I will put the links to the two articles that I talked about on our website at datingkindofsucks.com.
Get your paint. Pick your paint. Call dibs on your paint.
On your paint. Yeah. And if anybody understands that, let me know, because I'm not sure I quite understand who calls dibs on a paint color. Is it maybe that's a reference to like Sex and the City or some movie or something that I'm not getting.
Maybe. I wouldn't
Maybe.
know. I don't
I
know
don't
any
know.
fucking
Yeah,
current
your pop
events or
culture
pop
knowledge is
culture.
fucking
So
terrible. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But you can also follow along with us in our Facebook group where you can get advice. We occasionally have people like email us, "Hey, will you check out my dating profile? Let me know." It'd be much easier if you just joined the Facebook group and posted screenshots of your profile in there and let more than just Sarah and I say, because Sarah and I, we have our opinions, but you could also have a group of other people who might be the type of people that would date you, like looking at it and saying, "Hey, change this and change that," and you
True.
getting kind of that group looking at it.
Community.
Yeah, the community looking at it can give you much better, well-rounded advice. I posted my own profile in our Facebook group, and got some input from people that made me realize that maybe I was being a little too cynical in there. So I actually changed it up a little bit too.
I'm
So
surprised you fucking listen to that, because I try to tell you these things and you're like, ah, Sarah, stop being a fucking killjoy. You suck. So
yeah, basically, But I listened. I looked at the community overall, and I looked at the people who commented, and I was like, maybe I should give it a shot just to try it out. So, you can join that group at facebook.com/groups/DKS podcast.
if you also want to follow us on social media, you can follow along on Instagram at Dating Kinda Sucks, or our own personal Twitter accounts as well. If you haven't seen, we do have merchandise as well. Our sticker 4-pack, which you can get on our website, datingkindasucks.com, under the shop button to check out the stickers. We've also posted photos of the group and on Instagram as well. And for as little as $5 a month, you can support us on Patreon. We post exclusive content up there. It's been a hot minute, but it's coming, and we
Yeah, it's
give
coming.
certain discounts for certain things in the future too, as we continue to work on merchandise and grow and expand our community. That's patreon.com/datingkindasucks. Patreon.com.
Is that what it
I
is,
never
or
do
is
the
it,
Patreon. I never.
or is
Is
it
it slash?
patreon.com/DKS podcast? I always get
That's
confused.
probably what it is, because you can't say sucks on anything. I'm the worst.
Let's see. I'm gonna look. I can't never remember. It's patreon.com/DKS podcast.
There we go.
There you
And
go.
yeah.
And And yes, yeah, we haven't posted on there, but we do appreciate the support, because we know that everybody, when things kind of went to shit, the economy and stuff, a lot of people weren't able to, support and everything, and we were just trying to see even how many episodes we were going to be doing, but we'll be ramping that up again as well. And even if you do have the amount to support us, it helps us. It helps us pay for, slightly improved equipment, and just like these little things that we do, like the community of thousands of people that we try to help who
That's
email
true
us.
too.
If you would rather watch us than listen to us, you can of course check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/ this one actually is youtube.com/dating kinda sucks. I know.
Too many URLs, let me tell you.
There really are. There really are. And then finally, we've broken 200 reviews on iTunes, and reviews are so important. Like Apple, takes ratings and reviews with such importance for everything. So even if you have thousands of listeners, it's the reviews that matter. So if you have the time and you're listening on Apple, or Apple Podcasts, just please go over there and leave us a 5-star rating and review, and that would mean a lot to us.
Yeah, let's keep that growing, and yeah, we'll keep continuing to give out content, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you for listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a brand new episode.
Until next time.
whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place. Listen to us as we give no fuck on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yucks. Trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are two of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers he plucks. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.